Hello everyone, it's the 18th of July here in southern Alberta. Just had a ½ inch of rain with a few more showers expected for today. We were pretty lucky to be able to get most of our first cut of hay done. We got about 80 acres of dryland stuff to cut and bale, but that can get done at any time here now once the weather straightens out. But I got a thing here that I've done on our roll belt 560 New Holland baler. Last couple years, every once in a while, have some intermittent trouble with, you get a code when you're finished tying a bale, your duckbill wouldn't return to the home position. And it would cause the duckbill to stay down, lift your tailgate, and it wouldn't let your net knife come up and cut your mesh and complete a tie cycle. So what we found was the draw bolt spring wouldn't stay centered in the slotted mounting hole they have it that goes through. What it would do is sometimes the spring draw bolt would slip up high, and so the spring would lose strength and tensioning, and so the duckbill would hang down, preventing the tie cycle from completing properly. And then you have to get out, lift your tailgate, cut the mesh, and tie your mesh around the bale so it don't fall off. And sometimes it would slip down further into the slot, taking pressure off the spring. So all I did was I just took a great big flat washer, bent it in half to the contour of the bracket, and welded another washer in it and to it, and that way it keeps it more in the center. It's not perfectly tight in there, which it should have a little bit of ability to flex and slop around just a little bit so it don't break something, because that spring is really strong. As it's pulling, it pulls super hard, and I don't want to break or bend anything else. So there's a little tip that might help for you if you're having trouble getting that duckbill to return to the home position and not completing a tie cycle. This has helped. I've made about 3,000 bales since I've done this, and so far it's been good luck and haven't had any issues since that day. The next issue I have here is I'm looking for some guidance from you guys who might have these balers. Quite often in our brome and orchard grass crop, I have mesh comes down, will wrap around this bar at some point, in the middle, on the edge, wherever. I know on this particular one right here, I have a broken weld from a rock, and it's caused a rough spot, and it will catch the mesh there from time to time. I know the new balers, from what I have been told, do not have these round bars welded on them. For those of you guys who have these balers with no bars welded on them, I'm curious to know how well they function and perform in a grass crop situation. If it's better to grind them all off and avoid having mesh wrapping, I'd be glad to do it. It's getting very tiresome and bothering to have to get out, cut mesh off, and most of all, you have an ugly looking bale out in the field you have to do something with. And of course, it always happens next to the road. I have very few troubles with that in alfalfa, because there's enough texture to those alfalfa bales to grab the mesh and pull it in when it needs to. But in these slippery, dry grass conditions, it's quite problematic with this roller and mesh wrap. One thing we've done that has helped to, I think, alleviate a little bit of the mesh tying problems is getting the mesh to cut cleanly. Sometimes you'd have big jagged edges. This baler's got just over 11,000 bales on it now, and last year was the first year I did it. I actually took the whole net knife bar out, removed each blade, and just took a file, ran it down the length of it a few times, and then off the back side, put a good edge on it, and that really has helped this year too. It's starting to get dull a little bit. I may pull it off again and see if we can improve some more tying issues. It's pretty easy to do. Just pull this spring off. Those two 10 mil bolts down there will unhook from this side. And if you go around the other side, this bolt right here is just a post that the net knife bar mounts on that side. You just take the whole bar out the other side. You can have it out in 2-3 minutes. 15-20 minutes to sharpen all your knives can alleviate a lot of hassles with tying and cutting of the mesh.